Hey everybody, it's your friend Moonhorse. I am really far away from the microphone. Let me get that. Okay. It's time for another one of our wonderful podcasts. And I say that because I'm not here by myself. My friend G-Man is here with me.
Woohoo, what's up?
And we're just going to shoot the shit for a while because that's what this whole thing is. A lot of these are just updates about what's going on the channel, but mostly, there's no rhyme or reason to whatever the hell I'm doing at any given time. So, it's been a while since we've actually got a chance to sit down and talk about just anything.
Yeah, work, busy.
Yeah.
I just had a baby, so that makes it even crazier.
Yeah, congratulations, man. I don't know if I ever got to tell you
Thank
that.
You, man.
That was
Appreciate it.
So, yeah, we're thinking about different projects to do, and eventually we're going to try to upgrade whatever the hell it is that I'm doing here into something slightly better. It's slow going, but incrementally, yeah. It's a step-by-step process, but it's getting there. I guess I could give you guys... Some of you know who G-Man is, but I guess we really don't... Some of you guys are new to this. So this guy is like one of my best friends ever. So I haven't seen him... Like, we went to school together.
Yeah, we met a long time ago.
Yeah.
I knew you back in high school, after school, and going over and hanging out and stuff. So.
Yeah. That was back whenever I went to Human High School. They didn't know I was a unicorn. It was secret. Those were weird times. That was shit. I still see some people that we went to high school with around here, and
yeah,
it's a thing now. Some of the people who listen to this are younger than us, obviously. Because it's the internet, and
we're considered old farts now.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, once you catch that 3,000 error, oh, that's right. No, you guys don't do that. Humans have very limited lives. Once you get to a certain age, you start to realize that a lot of the people, especially if you're in the town that you went to high school with, you realize a lot of those people are now working. And not just working, but in, like, major positions. Because every now and then I'll see people we went to high school with that, like, work for the fire department. And I'm just like, oh, God, I hope my house doesn't catch on fire.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's a sad thing. Like, I looked at him like, holy hell, he's on the fire department. Like,
boy.
No wonder the insurance costs so damn much around here.
Yeah, that explains a lot. Oh, man.
But, on that same flip side, there's a lot of people that you see that they haven't really done anything. It's like they're the same person they were, forever ago. Basically, they're just the same person.
Yeah, a lot of times I've noticed when it comes to small town stuff, especially like around here, there's a lot of just like emphasis on doing things, but not a lot of emphasis on understanding like who and what you are. First off, because that was a lot of my issue coming out of a lot of things was I had a lot of like emotional and mental issues that I think a lot of people just do not address.
That's a problem in general that I think everyone everywhere has right now. Is that you're so emphasized on, school, for example. They don't teach you really anything else. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, half the people come out of high school and they're like, all right, now what do I do? Like, I don't know how to do taxes. I don't know how to do anything. Like, the school system's kind of a little messed up on that. Yeah. And then you start taking emotional things into it, and it's like, nobody really helped us kind of understand that. Like, school counselors don't counsel crap around here.
No, you have to just kind of learn how to land on your own 2 feet. And sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah. But that being said, though, sometimes it's really good to learn on yourself how to land on your own 2 feet.
That's true. I when I got out of school, I basically taught myself how to do mechanics work. Because I had to. First car I ever had, my mom gave me a little silver Nissan. I have pictures of it somewhere. This little beat to hell and back. It was a 93. Yes. No. 94. Yeah, because the truck's a 93.
That's right.
It was a little 93, 94. I keep doing that. 94
Nissan.
Oh my God.
Boy, do we have some good times in that car.
Oh yeah. It had no dash lights because the dimmer switch completely blew out and it locked in the off position. And it's only years later that I realized between the two of us, this guy knows more about electronics than I ever did, that I realized, like, we're kind of stupid because it's like...
We never actually
we'll have to put lights on the thing and they'll make it work. And it was only, like, a couple days ago. I was like, why didn't you just fuse the switch on? Motherfucker! Yeah, I could have done that!
If it makes you feel any better, do you remember my old Bonneville that I used to drive around?
Oh my God, yeah.
Well, when I put the car stereo in there, my headlights kept going out and blowing a switch. And I couldn't figure out why. So one night I had to drive home with no headlights. Yes, no, anybody ever tried that? Please, for the love of God, be safe.
That's scary.
Pull over, call someone, get help. That being said, though, I finally made it home. I was safe. I got so pissed off. I just started troubleshooting everything. This is how I learned about electronics in the first place. I went through that car piece by piece by piece till I finally realized that was the radio that got put in, and they didn't actually tape a bare wire.
And it kept tapping it?
Every single time I'd hit bump, it'd tap the radio, and it'd fry my headlights.
Oh, Lord.
Now, that should also tell you guys how bad the roads are around here.
Oh, yeah, the roads are terrible.
Yeah.
They make that joke about, like, you know, if you go to New Orleans, the roads are bad. I honestly, and I never thought this would be the case, I honestly cannot imagine going to New Orleans in a car. I have to go in a truck.
No. Okay, as my work vehicle, being in a truck, I used to have to drive around in a van for a company I worked in. I swear to God, I thought I lost tires in New Orleans in these little bitty Ford Fusion vans, and I'm like, I'm going to die from landing in a pothole.
Yeah, it's like, several times when you tell me, I gotta go to New Orleans, it's like, you're gonna end up bottomed out. Yeah. You're gonna have to you push it off the side of the thing. So the roads are bad.
People be safe in New Orleans. You're not talking about the crime anymore. You're probably talking about the damn potholes.
Nobody gets away fast in New Orleans. That's just how it goes.
I don't see. That's why the police can't catch anybody in New Orleans, because the roads are so damn bad. You can run faster than police can catch you.
If they had any foresight, they would have just bought a whole bunch of trucks.
I agree with
because then everybody else would get stuck in the car and they can just go over it.
That being said, though, you know, they did away with the mounted division.
Really?
They've almost completely done away with it.
That's a shame.
You know, I don't understand why they did that. I mean, honestly, it really did a lot during Mardi Gras and all that kind of stuff, because you could actually see around there. But I think part of the problem was that the horses can't even navigate the potholes and stuff. That's a really bad thing.
And they I know that they lost NOPD lost one of their best horse trainers. I should know I'm related to him. Yes. That's actually true. I'm not making a joke, guys.
No, it's dead serious.
Yeah, my dad's like nationally accredited. That's his big thing. Is he was one of the best horse trainers. He could do that. Now he does just that. He like works on he raises horses, and it's like,
if you're good at it and you love it, why not?
Follow your dreams. Nobody ever tells you that, but follow your dreams.
And I'm gonna say the other side, following my dreams. Sometimes it's really, really hard. It can be downright painful.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if you do it and you're good at it, it is worth it in the end.
Yeah. And sometimes you get good at stuff and you just have to understand, like, maybe it's not the best thing. Like, going back to the mechanic thing, I taught myself how to do that. Honestly, I'm not terrible at it, but the problem I have is I can get unbelievably frustrated with it. Like, it can make me angry like nothing else. And after... Like, I honestly, thinking about it, probably could have replaced the radiator in my truck when it went bad myself, but I let this other guy do it because I was like, if you do it, it's going to take 2 days and you're going to be, like, livid. So just let it go. Just let somebody else do it.
Have you ever actually been in a mechanic shop while they're working on shit?
Oh, yeah.
Like, when I do my stuff and I'm in these shops and stuff, I've been and, like, you'll hear guys start swearing and throwing tools, and he's mad as hell, and you just look back at it, and it's like because the damn nut broke. And I'm like, if you think that's bad, wait till you get further into that car.
Yeah, it's some stuff. It can make you crazy. So I mean, I couldn't keep doing that. I had to let some of it go. I still do it from time to time, but it's like, well, I mean, you got to learn how to step back.
But see, that's one of those things where it's like, is this worth my stress? Is it worth my time? And most importantly of all, can I do other things that are more important to me? Okay, if all those three criteria, go ahead. Let somebody else do it.
Sometimes you got to back off, and once you learn about things a little more, it makes it a little easier. Like, I used to think that I'm just, I'm a mechanic, but I'm not good at it. And then, like, years later, I started looking into, like, how they build vehicles and all this. I'm like, oh, I'm good at it, but the guys who design them are also assholes. Okay.
Well, we talked about this before.
Half and half.
We've talked about this before, not doing a podcast, but it's like, okay, some of these guys who are supposed to be engineers and stuff, design these cars, whatever the hell drugs they're taking, they need to share with the rest of us.
I've always, and this is true, because, I mean, I love my truck, and GMC is not the worst company I've ever had to deal with, but I leave it to GMC. They will at least find one way to make something ungodly stupid, and it's going to be in there.
Look, I'm still with the whole Dodge truck. I don't know if you've seen one lately. They don't have, like, a shifter to put in the drive or anything like that. They have a little knob on the column.
Oh, my God.
So if you want to take your truck from park to drive, you just flip this little switch. The damn switch looks just like the switch for your air conditioning. So you're going down the road.
That's dangerous.
You're going down the road like, hey man, I'm going to turn the air up.
And suddenly you're in reverse, yeah. Like, oh, shit, that's not good.
There goes a couple $100,000 a truck.
My God, that is... Yeah, my dad had this Dodge years ago. You've seen it. The road train. The big monster. Yeah, he had a... was a Dodge something. Once the truck reaches a certain size, they lose names, and then they're just serial numbers.
Yep.
It was one of those.
Yep.
It was a 10-cylinder diesel with a king cab and an 8-foot bed. I have no idea why he bought that, but he did.
It was the King Kong of the road. That's what it was.
It was huge. And then he put a trailer behind it, so, it gets even better.
Choo-choo, bitch.
Well, it only had, rear-wheel drive, and he moved further up north, and was always, going back and forth for all this horse ranch stuff. Well, he needed a 4-wheel drive. Now, the whole time we were working construction, he would make fun of me because my truck's older. Yeah, it's a little 93. And he's just like, yeah, he's got this old truck. And then he moved up there, and he's like, yeah, I had to get a 4-wheel drive. So he's like, I put the big truck, he wasn't using it for a while. He would go back and forth with somebody else because he was working on a ranch with like 9 other people. And he's like, I went out to put it in drive, and the transmission just snapped. Because it had been sitting up for so long, it just broke. Ugh. And he's like, I wasn't even about to try to push it, because ain't no telling how much that thing weighs.
Look, it's one of those trucks where you see it going down the road, and you're like, let me move out of the way. So,
yeah, that's one of those that if it breaks down, you're just like, well, I guess you're staying here.
I'm stuck 300 miles away from home. Let me get a plane ticket.
Yeah, like, I'm not pushing you. That's all there is to it. So, your ass is just going to have to sit here. That sucks. I'm sorry. But yeah, he told me, he's like, I got this little 4-wheel drive truck. And I was like, that's cool. And he's like, yeah, it's this little Dodge. And I forget what it was, like a Ram something. And I was like, oh, neat. So, like, you got it from, like, a lot? And he's like, no, it's like a 98. Bro, I thought you said them 90s trucks wasn't no good, though, huh? Tell me more about these older vehicles that you said weren't any good. Hold on, I can't hear you. Sometimes I have to mess with them.
See, it was really good that you have that relationship with your father where you can.
Yeah. You actually, speaking of car stuff, had I still recall as like one of the greatest weird little things I've ever seen.
The sidekick.
This sidekick was amazing.
Look, this is going to be one of those things I share, and I probably shouldn't, but there are certain places where they ask, what was your first model car? I don't even put what the make was. I just put sidekick,
And yeah.
And I know, but nobody else would know. Even if you're hacking, you're like, what the hell is this car? It's not Ford. It's not Honda.
It was amazing. It was the pure it sat right there with my my little Nissan as a pure definition of fuck it, right? Yeah. Like that was the only way you could describe either one of them. It's just like, I mean, fuck it, Yeah.
But that being said, I had to buy that Suzuki with my own money. I was working 3 jobs at the time, and for $1,000, that was the best damn vehicle I ever had.
Yeah.
I didn't even kill it. I ended up, when my brothers used it, they played around with it in the woods and stuff like that, going back to camp.
Yeah.
I got it back. I drove it for a little while, and then the fuel pump evidently went out, and I didn't have time to mess with it. I was working and stuff. Somebody came up and offered me basically $800 for it at the time. I was like, I paid $1,000. I've had it for a couple of years. Okay, great, $800. That sucker, they totaled the thing.
Oh, no.
That's what killed it.
That's what happened to my car.
Really? They totaled it?
Yeah, nothing could kill that Nissan. That Nissan was unkillable. God, yeah. It was a mean little son of a bitch. But when the ignition circuit, the whole ignition circuit, I mean starter, switch, all of it went out. So I had replaced the starter. That was a stupid thing. First I got this starter. I had to order one.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then they sent me one for an Altima and it didn't fit, so I sent it back and they were like, are you sure it doesn't fit? It says Altima. I was like, and I told you Sentra.
I remember that.
The difference is 2 damn cylinders. It's bigger.
2 cylinders and a little bit more ass in the car.
Yeah, so I need one for a Sentra. So I finally got that. And it would work, like it would start, but the only way you could get the starter to go is you had to manually start the starter. So you had to put a wire to the battery and then reach up in there and hit that terminal, and it would turn over and the engine would start.
Not safe.
No, God, because that engine was real cramped. So there's a good chance you'd start the engine and you wouldn't have an arm. So it was the switch itself, and I just dropped we're like early mid-20s at this point. That was a couple years back.
That's far back.
And I was broke as shit at that time, too. Like, real fucking broke. I dropped the last of my money on that starter, and then I called Nissan because I needed the switch. Because I was like, it's got to be the whole switch. It's got to be the whole thing. Because they're like, yeah, it's the whole switch. And I'm like, it's not the key cylinder. It's just the piece in the back that hooks into it. Which, honestly, if you knew how to open one of those, you could like steal one of those cars with a butter knife, because it's literally just like a little T-shaped thing that hooks in the back of the key cylinder. So if you take the screws out, pull it out, stick a butter knife in there, and turn it, it'll start.
Side note that I've seen that on cops before. Like, you stole that car with a butter knife.
Good security, best. Yeah. I guess their big thought was nobody's going to steal it. It's a Sentra.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, yeah, that was the one that So I had to get this piece, and I went online, and I was like, I need this thing, and they're like, you got to get it from Nissan, and I was like, okay, and they're like, what's the year? And I'm like, it's a '94. And they're like, oh, that's an older one. We'll have to order that. And I was like, how much is ordering it? They're like, oh, it'll be about $500.
The car ain't worth $500. Dude.
Yeah, it's like, I'm done. I can give you $7. I have $7. So this dude from down the road comes up, and his dad works on cars or whatever, starts talking to me about it. It had been sitting up for a little bit, and there's nothing I could do about it. And he's like, I just need a little car. Like, they just had a baby. And he was working at Burger King or something. And he's like, oh, we'll give you like $400 for it. And him and his girlfriend and like the dad and his brother or something came. And they had the baby in the van and everything. And he's like, I'll give you $200 now. I'll give you $200 later. And I was like, you going to use that money to fix this car so you can go to work and take care of your kid, right? And he's like, yeah. I said, call it even. Sold it for $200. So he did fine for a while. From what his brother told me, he said he was doing great. He said that car lasted them until he got a better job, moved to Houston. Wow. So they were in Houston 6 months. He stopped at a red light. A semi-truck did not, plowed into the side of it. He's fine. The car is dead. Completely total.
Well, I'm just going to give Nissan hats off on making a car to survive the semi.
That thing was incredible. That was one of the last cars they had automatic seatbelts.
Oh.
And yeah, those things are like big time illegal now. But they were cool as shit when I had them.
Like, you ain't get, like, you sit in and just automatically buckles your ass up. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't even set, like, the only time the seatbelt alarm would go off is if one of them wasn't plugged in. Because you have to lock it in. It's got a little sensor in it. So you lock it, both the front seats have these little things. So it would sit up, and you open the door, it sits up near the front, and the seatbelt would go all the way across almost across the steering wheel. So you get in it, you close the door, and we go up and around the door frame, and then lock in just over your shoulder, and now your chest belt is on. It's like, it was really fucking cool.
on the bright side, you never had to worry about getting a seatbelt ticket because
it was on there always. It took me almost 4 months to get used to putting a seatbelt on once I got the truck. Because I would always forget. Because I would get in because there's no automatic seatbelt.
Like, bitch, Siri, take care of me.
Yeah, I'd get in the truck and be like, what feels weird? Seatbelt. That one, that was a fun one too. That was my grandfather's truck. Most of you guys listening to this know that. That was the one GMC is like, it's the luxury edition because it has an extended cab. G-Man's seen it. That cab is 2 foot extended. It's 2 feet. There's nothing else.
Look, that extension is big enough for a 5-year-old. After they turn 6, they got moved.
Yeah, that's their big thing. Is they're like, well, it has 4 seats. And I was like, bro, that's a bucket. That ain't no seat. The seat fall out of the wall. If you can fold your chair into the wall, it's not a chair. That's a stand.
The sad thing is they still sell trucks like that. Like, it's the extended cab. Man, there ain't enough room for nobody to sit back there. What the hell are you talking about, extended cab?
The only thing I like about it is I can put my stuff back there. And that's all I use it for. It's just a big hole in the back where I put all my tools and stuff. But I will say this. If you guys haven't done this is an experiment that I've done several times. I don't know why this is, but it happens every time. And I'm sure you've had this too. In the back of my truck, there is a socket wrench set, a mechanic socket wrench set. It's always in the back of the truck. If it's back there, I don't have any problems. The minute I take it out, that motherfucker will start acting up. It happens every time.
No. All right. So you talk about that. I drive around my work truck. I got a bunch of tools and stuff. The one freaking tool that I needed the other day, I took off my truck and let my other guy borrow it.
That's the time you need it.
And I needed the dang tool. I'm like, I have not used this thing in 6 months, and I need it now.
I've done that 1,000,000 times. It's unbelievable every single time. I don't know why that is, but it always happens.
It's Murphy's Law. It's no longer. It's one of those things where it's true.
If it can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was. Oh man, I remember we took many a trip in that little Nissan.
God,
that thing had. I think when I sold it, it had like 193,000 miles on it.
Considering the age and everything we did with it.
Oh, yeah. That thing went crazy. That was the only car I've ever seen that thing could take on some shit, too. One time, coming back from somewhere, the road was just, like, nasty. It had, like, something washed out, and there was just mud on it. You know, the little motherfucker didn't get stuck. It went right through it.
Well, all things considering, also the Nissan was light as hell, too.
Yeah,
so...
it probably only weighed like 300 pounds. Had these little bicycle tires on it. Yeah. It held. It just kind of was like, okay, no, fuck you, and it just went. I was impressed. That was the same one. That was the first time I learned about drum brakes and why I will never change drum brakes ever again.
Drum brakes are the devil.
Oh. Somebody, I'm sure, thought they were a very good idea, and whoever they are, fuck you.
I'll say this. Drum brakes really are better for certain situations.
Yeah.
A little Nissan thing, no. That's not, no.
See, my truck has drums in the back, but discs in the front. And there's a kit you can get to put 4 discs on it. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I was telling somebody about it the other day, and they're like, yeah, but you got to have both so something gets in. I was like, what's going to get in it? Like, if you go mud riding, I was like, bro, that thing's 1.5 feet off the ground. We ain't going off-road. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, so I got stuck the other day, right?
Oh,
I
no.
don't know if I told you this. So I'm going to a customer's house, and it's been raining. They have this path, and I've always taken this path. Been there several times. So I go through, and I'm taking it slow. I'm just talking with the guy that's with me, and all of a sudden the truck stops moving. And I'm like, bro, please tell me like something else is going on here. I'm looking dead at him, and he's just like, I think you're stuck. I'm like, no, I can't be stuck. This is their yard. Like, you shouldn't be that wet. It was that wet.
Oh, no.
And it just, when we hit the mud, it just went straight down. I don't have 4-wheel drive, so my front wheels were fine. My back wheels weren't going anywhere. I had to call my buddy with a Jeep. He came over there, and he's looking at me. He's like, you can't get out of this? I'm like, do you see me? I'm covered in mud. The truck's covered in mud. It's all covered in mud. If I could get out, I'd get out. So 3 seconds after he hooks up to me, bam, we're out. And I had to wait there for 2 hours for him to show. Not a big deal. Thank him very much for showing up.
Yeah.
But the whole fact that just 4-wheel drive in that one situation would have made that big of a difference. It's nuts.
Wow.
Just that like that. So mud riding, you gotta have the right vehicle in general.
Yeah,
for that.
Yeah. That, and I as mean as that truck is, I get the impression it's like you'll go mud riding once, and then like the next day, half your house is gone missing.
What happened to my?
Yeah, I was like, where's my living room? I burned it down. This is what happens when you put me in the mud. It's like, all right, damn, I'm sorry.
Like bitchy mud? All right.
Yeah, shit. Every one of them is mean like that. It's just like
it's a trending with your vehicles typically.
Yeah,
they
all
have
mean.
a real mean personality.
Yeah.
That being said, though, they're really good vehicles.
Yeah, I have this. I need to work on it. That's the next project. There's gonna be a lot of mechanical projects in the future that I'd like to video for you guys. I have an '86 Kawasaki. Now, don't get excited. It's not like a Super Ninja. It's like a fucking crossover dirt bike. It's a little KLR 250. It ain't super big, but
no, but it's beastly, and you can't really stop it.
Yeah. Like the thing is, we're the same age, and that's when it starts acting up, I kind of have to give it a little benefit of the doubt. Whenever I do have to go, it's like speedometer says 100. Can you do 100? Can you? Yeah, no, I need to recognize. It's fine. We'll do 30. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I know a lot of people are just like, I got this. You can do the super bike. You can do like 160. It's like, yeah, and it's like fucking 2 years old. Mine's like, as old as me. Let's not give out numbers, but I can't run that fast, and I wouldn't expect it to either. We're roughly the same shape. We both look like crap. But
that being said, it's one of those bikes where you can take it on road, off road. It's kind of one of those mixtures. It's an awesome bike, and people would kill to have it. On that same hand, it's one of those bikes where when it's ready to be done, it's done.
Yeah, it's old school, so it's like ain't no electric start.
Nope.
You got to kickstart it, and man, it'll fight you. It's got one of the strong kickstarters too. So if you have more than once, I have kickstarted that bike, and the Kickstarter slipped out from under my heel and caught me right in the back of the knee, and that just drove me right to the ground. That left a mark. And it's got a huge amount of torque for something so small. And anytime anybody tries to ride it, it's like, you got to be real easy with the clutch. And it's like, nah, I know what I'm doing. And you let off, and the whole front end comes up, and it's like, that's what I was warning you about. But it needs a lot of work. That was my dad's. He gave me that. And that was around the time we had the motorcycles. You had that, that Honda. What was it?
It's a CB 750 F Super Sport, baby. That was an awesome motorcycle.
Oh my god, my favorite story about both of them because it happened to both. Okay, so his was here. Well, not here at the other house where we used to live, and what was it? I can't remember what hurricane it was, but it was a big one. Might have been Katrina. I can't remember.
No, it was the one after Isaac, maybe?
Might be, yeah. And we were worried they'd blow over. And I had this little shed, but it had like a one-person door. It wasn't like a vehicle shed. So I had to walk them in there one by one. Now, both of them...
they don't both like each other.
Yeah, they have fun brakes. And by fun brakes, I mean if you ain't running it, sometimes they decide they're going to stop while you're pushing it.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that time. I had to get him out of there, and I was like, all right, well, let me get G-Man's bike first because it's the bigger one, and it's the heavier one, so let's just do the heavier one first, and then we'll go get Skinny Boy, and we'll be done. So I'm about halfway out the door, pushing him backwards, and the brake locks up, and I lose my balance, and I'm fucking wedged in the door.
Oh, God.
I'm like stuck in the door. And my sister came outside, she's like, what are you doing? And I just went, help! Get it off me! Like, son of a bitch! Oh my god. And then, of course, like 10 minutes later, that one's off, it's out. I get the same thing with the other one, except that one, that one decided the brakes were going to lock. It came over on me, punched me right in the stomach, and took all the air out of my lungs. I was like, alright, fine, fuck you both.
Sucker punched you.
Next hurricane comes along, you can sit out here, you asshole.
You know, that bike, I actually sold it to a guy for a little of nothing. He wanted to restore it. So I was like, you know how much that's going to cost, right? He's like, I don't care. I like those style bikes. I grew up with them. I lost mine back when I was a kid. I'm like, all right, you're about 60 or so, and you want to restore this, and you're going to drop that much money into it, considering, like, one little switch on it, original factory made, was like $300. I was like, yeah, just give me like $200. You can have it. But yeah, I saw it not too long ago. He's still putting money into it. I think he said he's up to about $4,000.
Wow. I mean, if you really like it, you'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like two different shades of the 80s. It was really wild. They had
It really was.
Yeah, they had like, they were both great bikes. They had the ugliest paint colors I've ever seen. Mine was, it's white with like baby blue and neon green stripes. Like nothing says 1989. Like that. Like this is, you look at it and you're like, the Pepsi generation.
That's right. And then mine was like, it didn't know if it wanted to be a like a Harley or if it wanted to be a sports bike. You know, something you'd race like a Ninja or something. And so it was decked out black and had orange lines going down it, and then these big ass chrome mufflers.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, hey, whatever works, you know. It's like, they were wild. They were fun little weird machines.
Yeah.
I still have to put some work, and then you have that. Oh God, I just remembered that the story. One time when I was house sitting for you, had that he had another bike. It was a Honda something, the big black one. I can't remember.
Oh no, that was a Yamaha.
Yamaha.
It was a Yamaha, a V-Star.
And he had this this cover on it. This big ass thunderstorm came up. I'll never forget this. I was standing on the back porch and this thunderstorm's going. I look over. I don't know why. I look over at it, and the cover is just like flapping back and forth. And I was like, that doesn't look like it's going to stay on. And no sooner than they say that, the whole thing flew off and hit the back of the shit. Whack! And it was plastered against the shit.
Oh, God.
I just fucking died. The next day, it was on there so much, I had to, like, peel it off. Like, well, shit. That was also the time the power went out. And the alarm system battery got low.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, because I was like, well, let me check on the house, because I went back the next day, and apparently the battery didn't kick back over. So when I unlocked the door, it talks. His alarm system talks. It'll be like, back door open. But the battery was low, so I opened it, and it was just like, all I heard was, back door. It's like, well, I'm not an expert, but that doesn't seem right.
It's like, thanks, Satan.
Cool. Creepy. Everything else is fine. It was just that. Like, alright, well, fuck it. That was so funny. Oh my God, I'll never forget that voice.
So I had something similar happen this morning.
Yeah.
I'm over this way working with someone trying to get their computer going and everything. My wife calls me and she's like, something's beeping. I'm like, be specific. I got a lot of stuff in my house that beeps because I'm always testing stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, it's over by your desk. that ain't helping. Is it the cameras? Is it this? Is it that? And finally she's like, I don't know. Come fix it. I'm like, yes, dear. I love you. I'll be home soon. So I get over there. It's the dang battery backup for my computers. Like, it had a surge, and all she had to do was hit the on button. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't mess with it if you don't know. I gotta get some, what is that? I want to get one of those for around here, because I found out the fun way last time. This was great. So we had this power outage a while back, and I found out that if you put electricity to my modem and the router, our internet comes back on.
Yep.
As long as the lines are up, it'll come back on. It's like, the only thing I could think is that's going to be hugely helpful during a hurricane. Because then you can see everything. At least we can, okay.
Get some news, get some info.
Yeah. Get something going.
Yeah.
But that was the time I tried that, and like the power was out for hours. We didn't know what was going on. And they were like, "Oh yeah, there's a problem at the substation." I was like, "Would the substation go out?" I was like, "No, yeah, it was on fire." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Like, I still have a picture of that on my phone. Like, I'm passing by and I'm looking at it. I'm like, no, like, what the hell? But yeah, evidently they have cooling oils and stuff in there, which makes sense if you know anything about some of that stuff. And it's like, it got so hot it caught on fire. It's from the 80s or whatever. I'm like, wait, what?
That explains a lot. That was the other question somebody asked me on the news, to go slightly topical here. There was scary about this. They were talking about, what is it, that shooting recently. That guy. Yeah. And they were just like, they said he's from like Louisiana, like Livingston Parish. They were just like, is that close to you? And I was like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, backyard, basically.
Yeah, it's like one parish over. It's right there.
They called the dude in North Carolina.
Yeah, he took off to North Carolina.
Like, dude, that's really good freaking time. Like,
I'm sure he wasn't obeying the speed limit anymore.
Obviously. You've already killed a couple people. What's the speed limit, right?
That was the other thing. Is like anywhere else in the country, they say stuff like, this guy went crazy, shot a whole bunch of people and took off. I'm just like, my God, why would you do that? And then this one, they're like, he was from Livingston Parish. I'm like, I understand. There's a lot of strange people in Livingston Parish.
You want to talk about hearing banjo music when you go through somewhere?
Oh, yeah.
You hear banjo music.
This whole area, and you know it too, I like to refer to it as Louisa-sippy, because it might as well be Mississippi. I mean, they this is the only place I've ever been in Louisiana. When we first got here, we first moved here, and I really started meeting more and more people. That I'd meet people, and they'd just be like, yeah, we from around there. And it's like, we in the same state? Are you sure? Because I'm used to, like, Cajun country.
Yeah. Like, you understand Cajun country. Well, I say you understand. They have their own language, basically. Oh, yeah. Oh, shell, you going to make some good sauce pecan, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I know that. I speak it well.
That being said, you get up in Livingston, they'll be like, oh, yeah, you go down the road there, you take a left-hand turn, make it right. I like butter biscuits.
It's like, everybody knows everything. Like, and then if you don't know, they're just like, you know where that road is? No. It's like, I have like a job. I can't be on the road all day.
Well, you go down there to Bubba's Farm and you make a right-hand turn. I don't know Bubba.
Stop being fucking sassy and just tell me where to go.
That being said, that was where my first apartment was, so I really understand it.
Oh my God, yeah.
So, one of the things is when you're living in there, and you actually go, if you go anywhere there to do any kind of shopping or whatever, and I ended up shopping by the Dollar General store because it was literally 2 blocks away, and I was like, all right, I can get in and get out and get back in my apartment.
Yeah.
Done. But you meet some strange people in Livingston, like they're like the meth head capital of the world. That's all I'm going to say. I mean,
that was a neat little apartment. It was really weirdly cool design.
It really was. Like it was smart because it was it had a huge walk-in closet.
Yeah.
Had a decent bedroom, nice little kitchenette thing, living area, and then little shower, bathroom. It was nice. It was just big enough for a single guy.
Yeah. I always thought it was really neat that one of the walls of the kitchen was just like a giant window.
Yeah.
And this is like the perfect thing. If it was anywhere else, if you were like some major city, it's like, that's a perfect apartment. But I remember, like, not long after you moved in there, you called me and I was like, what's going on? I was like, there's nothing out here. Like, I'm bored.
Don't get me wrong. The most fun, the most interesting thing that ever happened in that apartment was the building that was literally 3 feet from my apartment caught on fire. So, so you're thinking, okay, the fire department warned you or whatever. No, fire department didn't warn me. Nobody warned me. The owner of the building had to come up there and knock on my door and be like, the building next door is on fire. Get out. Get your ass out.
That was, That was the first time. That was around the time that what is it? There's this great story. A lot of people know this story about when what was that game? Dead Rising first came out. That only like 50% of the people who bought it could actually play it. And I'll never forget because he bought a 360 and was like, and he was like the first person I knew who had like the newer console. I was like, 360, we're gonna got some new games. You're gonna hang out. I was like, yeah, we're gonna like hang out and play games all night. And I remember we got there. He had this big CRT TV. I forget how big it was. Got the thing hooked up with Dead Rising in there, and just like, bro, I can't read what this shit said. Like, it was made in HD. I remember you told me, it's like, that was the longest game I ever beat because it took 6 years before I got an HD TV to play it.
I spent 4 years playing that game, running around and doing whatever the hell I wanted because I didn't know what the hell was going on. It's like, hey, look, this is open world. Well, thank God, because I wouldn't know what
If I had to follow a tutorial, I'm never going to get out of the first world.
Like, I just ran around killing zombies because, like, there's nothing else. I ended up beating, like, one of the major bosses accidentally.
It was so funny. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, God. You know, when I bought the Xbox, I bought it specifically for Oblivion because that was all I wanted. I spent my tax money on the time, that was a lot of money.
We played the shit out of Oblivion.
Oh, my God, did we? You know, that's all I had to do in that part, man. I had the Xbox, I had Oblivion, I think I had Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and... I don't remember the other game. Probably Dead Rising. So I don't remember. But that's all I had. So when I came home and I had nothing else to do, you know, I cooked dinner. I played for a few games. I went to bed. I got up. I went to work. That was my life for a while.
I'll never forget because like we started playing Oblivion not long after it came out, and then I got like a new-ish computer. It wasn't great, but it was like it did some stuff. And I got Oblivion. I had it for PC. And then I found out, like, we didn't know about modding communities until long afterwards, and I found out the modding community. And when I told you about it, you're like, bro, I need this on PC. I was like, it was pretty cool. Yes. The Oblivion modding community was really great. There was just all kinds of cool stuff, and you could search for pretty much anything and find it.
The Bat Cave mod that I found, that was freaking awesome.
I, like, redid the entire thing in, like, Lord of the Rings theme, so it was fun. Skyrim has a pretty good modding community too. Yeah. I really like what a lot of their modders do with with environments.
Yeah,
because there's this one guy who made this I guess it's like a mansion kinda, but if you're to put it in perspective, like location, if you're playing the game. So the first city you actually get to, not what is it?
Whiterun.
No, not the major city, the little town.
Oh, yeah.
Like River or something? Riverwood?
Yeah, Riverwood, I think.
I can't remember exactly.
It's been a while, yeah.
But yeah, if you go down the road, like you go across the bridge and then you're going down the road towards Whiterun, before you get that bridge where you branch out across the road... No, it's after you do that because there's a waterfall. It's like a big waterfall.
Yeah.
That's where he built it. It's literally on the waterfall. And it's like a Japanese-themed mansion with like the paper doors and the sliding.
Amazing.
It's gorgeous. It was like really, really well made. And like he custom made the trees so that their foliage looks like cherry blossom stuff.
That's cool.
And it's built like right on a waterfall. So it's like, it's really, really cool. I was really impressed with the way the guy made it. And that's like a big thing in that community is just making gorgeous properties. So that engine is great for making that kind of stuff with.
Yeah.
It has some other bugs, but you can make all kinds of cool stuff.
Well, I mean, Bethesda's engine in general has some bugs, and they know about it. But on the same hand, you got to take tick for tack. I don't mind a plant reaching through my wall if the rest of the story is pretty good.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I'd hate to see their office if that's what their game engine looks like.
I've seen my favorite Oblivion moment. I had a lot of those, but one of my favorites was going into some kind of dungeon or whatever. This dude had this big broadsword, and he brings it up overhead to like attack me with it, and I just cross-checked him. And when he flew one way, the sword hit the ground, but all the momentum was stored in the object, so it's like spinning like a gyroscope, like back and forth just like that. And I was mesmerized for like 20 minutes, like. Is it ever gonna stop?
I've got a Fallout 4 segment that I recorded on my Xbox, just like that. Like I killed this zombie basically. I can't remember.
The ghouls.
The ghouls, and his head's just sitting there spinning like. I'm like, what?
A lot of people complain about the glitches. Sometimes they're really funny.
I told you the other day. I've got a great image of I literally watch a dragon and a giant go at it. And first of all, if you've ever seen this in the game in general, it's pretty cool. But the fact that I got the giant hit the freaking dragon, and he launched himself not like across, up to the other side of the whatever. I'm talking about the world, the outside world. He just went
broke
flying.
the skybox.
Like, well, there's a fourth wall break waiting to happen.
Well, I'm not going to fight that guy.
That's right. Like, I'm like level 100, and I looked at the giant and said, "Nope."
No. So recently, I might see if I can get you to help me with some of these episodes, or you might want to be in on some of them. We're going to try and do some more game stuff eventually. It's just a big setup. I started recording episodes of New Vegas.
Love New Vegas.
Yeah, I adore New Vegas. I have all the expansions and stuff and played it forever and ever, just over and over. But I have a lot of games like that I want to kind of get stuff together for. But I'd like to have other people on there if you're willing to do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Especially, if you want to play the game, I can give you some great commentary.
Oh, yeah. It's mostly, the people who are listening to this now have seen my episodes of doing that. It's mostly just me wandering in the desert talking to myself. I don't know that I don't think that episode's come out yet, but there is an episode that will come out where I, because of the content that I usually read, these kind of neckbeard guys and their little trilby hats. I found one of those, and there's a whole 10-second segment where I'm trying it on the character, and the only sound of me in the background going, Jesus. It's stupid as hell, but I love it.
Oh,
God. So, speaking of that, since we're going to talk about neckbeards, let's, because you actually were part of our D&D group.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he was one of the other people who played D&D with me back when we used to play, and has been in witnessing, has witnessed both of the neckbeards that K and Mew are what we call them, if you can kind of follow my...
Yep. Yep.
And, oh my God, the stupid things that came out of that.
There's really no words. I mean, it was fun, but on the same hand, how you reach those people and you're like, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't be that crazy, and then they do exactly what you were expecting them to do.
Oh yeah, I think my favorite was, I'll never forget. I think we were sitting across. No, he was sitting across from me. You were slightly to the left, if I'm not mistaken, just right next to him. Mm-hmm. And I remember we're supposed to be doing something, talking about going into some crypt or whatever. It escapes me, and then Kay puts on his angsty anime voice. That was so funny. And it's I guess I'll search the room for traps, and I'll never forget. You just kind of looked at me like, is this motherfucker serious?
The sad thing is, that's exactly what I was like. Dude, I understand getting a character, but what the fuck is that?
What the fuck? Oh my God, I had to bite my tongue so many times around him. It was hard going places with him. It was hard doing stuff like that.
Yeah, Kay is one of those interesting characters. Don't get me wrong, to some extent, because I knew him, my wife knew him before, we almost didn't really even know that we had a mutual connection through him. But on that same hand, you gotta wonder, it's how, you gotta realize at some point in time with him, something happened.
Yeah.
He never exactly got out of that weird phase, I guess you can say. I don't know.
He, so with the neckbeard stuff, I've seen a lot of it. I read a lot of stories because, I have no life. But a lot of it is these guys, the way I've heard it put, and honestly it makes a lot of sense, is a lot of these guys, they get involved in that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? The kind of, those pickup artist guys.
Yes.
They end up falling into those things.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah, these guys are scam artists. Pickup artists are just scam artists. They come up with a bunch of stupid shit about who's guaranteed to get women. And it's humans are, many faceted of fold. Everybody's different. So how the hell is it guaranteed? But that's aside from the point. Yes. I can talk about these guys for hours and how much I hate them.
There's an episode of Me Wine or something for that.
I need to be a little less sober for that one.
Yeah.
Actually, that's I'll tell you later. That's a different thing. But a lot of these guys are the people who fell for those kind of people. They buy their books and they go to their, they listen to whatever they're doing. And
okay, I'm just going to say this now. This might be a little un-PC, but I got to say it. That's the real masculine man that's really toxic. That's the real toxic masculinity.
That's where that all starts. That's where a lot of that toxic masculinity starts, is they basically get scammed by these guys because they were told that, well, if I do this and do this, then I'll, I'm guaranteed, but it's not going to work because that's not how that works. And then when it doesn't work, instead of being introspective and understanding that this was a scam, you got played, and you're going to have to learn how to interact and be more social, they flip the script and are just like, oh, it's got to be, all women are evil.
They
and stuff
basically
like that.
double down, basically. I'm the best. It's the women.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Like, no, you're just being a jackass. I mean, I'm sorry.
Kay would, I haven't heard from him in a while, but Kay would go on these tirades about how much he hates feminism, to the point that it's like, it's obvious delusion. Like, whether or not you agree or disagree with feminism, he would talk about at length about how feminism is the root of all the world's problems. All the world's problems?
Yeah, all the world's?
Come on, man.
Alright, look, I'll give you. Is there toxic femininity? Sure, there probably is. There's toxic masculinity. There's a lot of things that in a large amount or in a bad way, it's bad. Let's be honest. We love coffee. Too much coffee is really bad.
Yeah, that's true. So Kay goes into these huge things about how he blames all the world's ills on feminism, but it's like that, dude, it doesn't make any logical sense. So, but you can tell that it's all like an underlying thing. It's all like an underlying thing of him just not getting the hot girl that he wanted. Because I'm sure you remember there was a large point in time where he would just obsess.
Yeah, definitely. He obsess is the best word you can possibly use. I think, honestly, to some extent, it was almost delusional, honestly.
Yeah. He had it in his head that he was going to be hooked up and in this relationship with, basically, I don't even know who this girl was, but from what I could tell, the idea was like she was some kind of real popular girl at his high school or whatever at the time. And it was just like, but if you don't know anything about her and she's not into you, why are you expending this much energy into this relationship? I don't understand.
Unfortunately, that goes back to the scam artists and stuff, and they're like, well, if you don't have this really hot 10 out of 10 chick, and it's like, you do it, I'll do me.
Yeah, it's ridiculousness, because it's like, that would be a terrible relationship. You got nothing in common. What are you going to do? You don't even like the same thing, so...
Look, I'll be the first one to tell you, there's a lot of people that I know, the only thing they had in common was good sex, and when they got married, it didn't last too long, because if that's the only thing, especially in this day and age, there's a lot of fish in the sea as far as that.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't know. He still goes on those things every now and then when I see him. He'll start on this whole thing about how all the women's is evil, and I'm just like, okay. I didn't tell you the greatest story I've had with Kay. It was a very recent one. Was he told me that was it last year, maybe the year before? I can't remember. He was like, I want to. It was around my birthday. And he's like, we need to hang out. We need to go somewhere and get something to eat. I was going to go to a little hibachi place right here in town.
Yeah,
it's not bad. And he was like, no, we have to go to the one in Hammond. I'm paying, so we're going to the one in Hammond. Okay. It's a little more expensive, but hey, it's all you. And then he shows up and he's like, yeah, no, I'll drive. And I was like, okay, you're paying, you're driving, you're paying for everything. And he's like, yeah, I got it all covered. It's like, you do realize I'm going to get shit-faced, right? And he's like, well, it's your birthday. And I was like, that's cool of you. Let's do this. So we did, and we went there, and we went to... the little hibachi place. And I think my favorite part of that is he was telling a friend of his later about it, and he told me about it, and he's like, we went there, we're having dinner, and he's over the course of this dinner, there's this waitress, little skinny Asian lady that he likes, and he's just kind of sort of flirting with her, and he said it was only after the second or third time I said something to her. We've been there for I don't know, maybe 20-30 minutes. And I look over at Moonhorse, and he is drunk. I was like, I was real drunk.
I'm going to assume sake.
Sake and a little bit of beer. Yeah, I kept going back and forth. So,
and it's obviously when you mix them, you get way more wasted.
Yeah, I'm eating fried rice, and he was talking about this girl and how he thinks she's attractive, and then he looks over at me, and instead of getting your friend looking back at you, going, "Well, if you think she's attractive, you should ask her out," he looks over at me, and I'm just like, like fucking wasted, and he's just like, "I don't know, man. I kind of want to say something, but I don't know what to say." And he said, "That was the moment I knew I probably shouldn't have said that." It's because we're sitting side by side at this hibachi table eating dinner. He said, Moonhorse leans back in his seat and just goes, "Hey, baby, come on over here for a minute." Like, I am fucking gone, so I'll talk to anybody. And she comes over and was like, can I get you something? And I was like, "You can get him something. He thinks you're cute as hell. That's all I'm saying." And I just went right back to eating.
I would have paid money to see the look on his face.
He was like half mortified and like half like, I don't. Yeah, so he's still trying to so he's got over a lot of his kind of neckbeardy tendencies. There's still some, but then he decides we're gonna walk around the mall, and I'm still fucking blasted. So I'm fun to be in public. Yeah, so I'm like stumbling around the mall, and I never forget that it's like security. It wasn't even a security. It's like a cop coming out of Target or something, and he kind of sees me stumble, and he goes, "You all right?" "No, I'm fucking drunk." And he goes, "You're not driving, huh?" So that's what my chauffeur is for.
So you're talking about, I had the kid. She's breastfeeding right now, so she can't really drink a little bit. She can have like a small sip of something as far as flavor, but other than that, her body can't process it out in the breast milk. So she's already threatened that she's like, as soon as I can actually produce enough milk that I can pump and everything, you're taking me out somewhere and I'm getting whatever the hell I want. And if I get drunk, there's nothing you can do about it.
I am down with that plan.
And I'm like, baby, whatever you want. Cause I know better than to argue with my wife on that point.
I mean, for my for my birthday, I got what can only be described as a comically large bottle of wine. Yes. It was huge. Yes. It was a big thing, and it took like 2 days, but I killed it. And I like wine. That's my thing. I'm cut back a lot. A lot of people who are listening to this are concerned that it's like I drink too much, and it's like, no, honestly, I don't. I upload at random, so it seems like I'm drunk a lot.
This is coming from you. I'm the one making alcohol at my house. Yeah. It's completely legal. You can make beer and wine. Look it up. Yeah. I'm not doing anything beyond that. Yeah. That being said, my mom actually came over one time, and she's like, "Why do you have so much alcohol?" I'm like, "Mom, I made wine. So, if I make 5 gallons, for example, I bottle it, and that's like 20 bottles.
Yeah, you got to store it. It's going to take a lot.
It's like, you don't just drink the wine as soon as it's made. It has to age. If anybody knows anything about wine, it's got to age and be ready to be drank after a small amount of time.
Yeah.
So she was really concerned there for a while. But then, on the same hand, I took all my alcohol out that I have everywhere across my house the other day to reorganize cabinets. We were just kind of cleaning up. And I was like, oh, shit.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. All right, maybe no wonder my mom was concerned. That is a problem right there.
Look, I'm just saying, if you need to get rid of some of it, I'll take it off your hands.
Look, it's crazy how much I actually have. And honestly, I'll even admit, if anybody comes over to my house who doesn't know me, they're going to be like, he's an alcoholic. This dude gets wasted. I've got so many different kinds of beer and wine in the fridge right now. I've got all my homemade wines. I've got a little bit of homemade root beer left over in the fridge right now, which either I'm going to dump or I'm going to finish drinking tonight. It's like no alcohol content, so I'm not worried about it. And then I've got all the liquors, because we always have some kind of liquor, because I cook with it. I have maple flavored bourbon. I have bourbon for this kind of. It's just crazy. So yeah, I mean, at some point in time, we may have to clean out some of that. We'll do a podcast like that. Be like, all right, every single time somebody says a word, you have to take a shot. We'll see how long we wait.
That sounds good. I'll never forget one of my favorite times was we had Guinness, but we stuck it in the like the freezer or something.
Yes.
And without naming too many names, it was your brother-in-law, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And we hadn't had, I think I had like one swallow at this point, but it was so cold that he had set it on the table and set it down a little too harshly. And as the foam is coming out, it was freezing. And
he had a Guinness slushie.
Awesome. So we have like a bowl underneath it, and we're just watching it come out. And I'll never forget, your wife came into the room, she's like, "How drunk are you three?" It's like, "Not at all. We're watching science. Look at it. It's amazing." like 3 little kids were just staring at it like, how big is it going to get? Oh my God!
The sad thing is, that's like some of the best Guinness we ever had. And
it was so good. That was the same time. Can I tell the story about Guinness and Winn-Dixie that time?
Oh God, yes, please.
Oh my God. So G-Man goes to get this thing. It's like a little 4-pack of Guinness in this little cardboard box, which is the worst box ever.
God,
I don't know how they still make those. They're terrible. But I'll never forget, like, he grabbed the box and holds it, gets it halfway out of the shelf, and 2 of the cans just fire off across the store. They didn't open, but they shot off across the store like they were on a fucking mission.
It's like somebody took it, put it in a paint mixer, and then set it back in there, and they just...
Yeah, they were gone, and we're chasing them around the store trying not to get in trouble. It was like a fucking Benny Hill sketch.
The employees were laughing at us like, they planned this.
It was great.
Oh, it was.
Oh,
it really
God,
was.
That was so funny. Well, it's a long episode. This is going to be a fun one. But, it's not actually as long as I think it is. I got to edit a bunch of shit.
Yeah, there's some craziness in here.
But, yeah, I want to thank you for coming on this podcast.
This was awesome, Moonhorse. I look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, anytime you want to, man. All you got to do is ask. I'm always around, and you know I'm down for it.
Absolutely.
So, this was great. So thank you all for listening.
Absolutely.
And if you like this show, I mean, if you want to send stories, request anything, I have a subreddit. It's r/Moonhorse Stories. Drop them there. I check it every single day. I'll see it. And if you want to support this show for whatever the hell it is we're doing here, I have a Patreon. You can donate to that. And I also have a website. I sell t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, because of course I do. Still can't sell wine glasses. I don't really know what's up with that. Anyway.
We'll fix that.
Yeah. If you want to buy all that, all of these things and more are in the links below. Thank you all for watching. I love you all, and have a wonderful night. I know I am.
Peace.
Bye.